Good. Can y'all hear us? Who's on here? Hello from Ohio. Welcome. But thanks for joining us. Michael's pulling it up on his phone so he can see comments. Is the audio okay? Can you hear us? I feel like I'm yelling. I probably shouldn't. Don't need to yell.
Hello, everybody. Let us know if y'all can hear us.
We are, we're going to be talking about the expo that we went to this evening. Maybe someone else that was there can jump on too and comment. Good, thank you. Thank you for letting us know you can hear us. And be sure and hit the thumbs up button if you're here. That helps us out. Appreciate it. Sorry, we're kind of hoping a few more will jump on here. Oh, there we go. Now it's jumping up. Hello, everyone. We got our sheet in front of us from the expo. We're going to go over some of the classes we went to.
It's our cheat sheet.
Our cheat sheet. It was a lot to remember. We can't remember everything off the top of our heads, so we have the paper in front of us to help us keep us on track. Overall, we had a wonderful time. We've gone 2 years now. This year was better than last year. And the people that have been going for 3 years now, they say it gets better every year. And so far, we have to agree. Scott Family Farm and Retreat is on. Hey, Scott.
Howdy, howdy.
Oh, I was going to wait, but I can't remember.
Is that you have to? No, we got to meet up with several channels that we get to see every year out there, and there were several there that we wanted to meet with that we just did not get around to. There was a whole lot of people there. I don't know how many. I know they had over 100 vendors there, and I don't have an idea in the world how many people was there, but I know the place was absolutely packed. But it was full of education, all kinds of lessons to learn there, and we just kind of
Tribal Woman. Hello, Tribal Woman. Thanks for joining us.
We just tried to pick and choose a few that we were a little more interested in, and there were some we would have liked to have got to, but just couldn't get around to all of them. But it was a blast, and we had some friends that were there, longtime friends, and we just had a really good time there. We were just going to kind of talk about some of the things we went to there, and really encourage y'all next year. It's going to be around the same time. They're going to try to plan it around the week of the spring break for schools, and really encourage you to try to go if there's something you're interested in learning about.
I think it's perfect timing because it's right when everybody's starting to, our homesteads are coming to life. Everybody's fixing to put a garden in and everything. So it's a perfect time to get all this education before you dive in on some stuff in the spring. Tribal Woman said, how is everyone? We're doing great. Everybody's doing good here. We're a little tired. It was a very busy last few days. Go, go, go. And so today we kind of took it easy, trying to get my house back in order. But we're good but tired. Tina Hogan's here. Hey, Tina. She said, glad y'all are back. Excited to hear what you've learned. Tribal Woman said, it's raining like crazy here in the Ozarks. Yeah, it's raining here too. We're expecting some storms, thankfully. Too bad it hasn't gotten too bad yet.
Been super windy all day.
We kept an eye on the weather and the radars, but thankfully it's not too bad. But yes, it is rainy. My first live chat with you guys. Hi from SoCal. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Someone here from California.
Southern California. Well,
right.
I guess we'll start with Friday, just the different sessions that we went to, and kind of talk a little bit about how they were after the opening ceremony on Friday. The very first one we went to was Milk Goat Basics. It was put on by two sisters, Gabriella and Esther Smith, with Pilgrim's Heart Homestead. That to me was one of the best presentations I've been to. They were very thorough. And everything.
I talked to them after, and I told them what a good job they did, and I was like, that was probably one of the best ones I've ever heard. Just the facts that they were remembering off the top of their heads. I mean, like, it just went off without a hiccup. They were just, I don't know.
In their Q&A time, they didn't let me think about it or anything. They had it. And
they didn't miss a beat. And I was talking to him later, and she's like, it's because we practiced. It was funny. So they must have rehearsed it, but it was so good. So much good information. They even let some people milk their goat after and learn how to do that. Very, very educational. We took little video clips from each session we were in, and I'm working on putting that video together. So we'll put out a video here in a couple days from the expo with little clips from each session that we went to.
I think next year I would like to go with something more like a GoPro or something other that I can set up and actually video the entire sessions. That way we can we can go back and share them and watch them. But they were.
It is a lot of information. Part of me wonders maybe if I should take a notebook next time and jot down notes or something, because it's a lot to retain in a little bit of time.
They don't have a YouTube channel right now, I don't believe, but they got a Facebook page, Pilgrim's Heart Homestead, but really a lot of information on milk goats. And
y'all should look them up. Again, it's Pilgrim's Heart Homestead on Facebook. They don't have a YouTube, but they do have Facebook. And it was just a wealth of information from these young girls. I couldn't believe it.
The next session we went to that day was put on by Beam Farm. Craig Beam was the guy's name, but it was on quail processing, raising quail and processing them. And they've got a really big operation there in Oklahoma. They sell chicken eggs, duck eggs, turkey eggs, all kinds of eggs, and they raise quail, butcher quail, raise chickens, butcher chickens.
He did all the butchering right there in front of us, and we had kind of a front row view to it. The kids, I was checking on them every now and then, and Maggie's face a couple times, she was like,
he butchered what, 5 or 6 quail there right in front of us. It's just really good.
It was very educational. He was very thorough in explaining everything. He made it look super easy. He
said whenever he's in his groove and processing dates there, I think he said he can do like 5 per minute on quail. So that's pretty impressive. Just how quick he was, and showing you all the tips that he knew and stuff. So it was a really good session also. Really enjoyed it.
Ozark Mountain Specials here. Thanks for joining us. Here in a minute, I'll link all these good channels that are on here, and we'll talk about them here in a few. Where was I? The quail processing.
I think the next one we went to was put on by Bar 7 Ranch. I think they're bigger on TikTok than anything else, but Cody and Erica put on a really good session on raising butcher steers and just cattle in general. It was a really good session. We got to have a selfie picture made later with them, but also just some more one-on-one time. I will say, out of everybody we met there, as far as down-to-earth folks, they're from Texas. They were down to earth, willing to talk about anything with you, to the smallest little details. So
yeah, we just stopped to thank them, and I knew they were in a hurry because they are bigger name, and everybody was wanting to talk to them. But they stopped dead in their tracks and like just started asking us questions, wanting to get to know us, and I was a little taken aback by that. How, I don't know, friendly they were, and just wanting to know everything about us and talking to the kids. They were very sweet.
The next session, not trying to go too fast here, but the next session we went to on Friday was I guess it's the CEO of Azure Standard out of Oregon up there.
Founder and CEO.
And just got to hear a lot of the history of their products and why they went out on their own. It was a really entertaining session to hear, to learn about how they try to keep everything just as basically organic as possible. And
he talked a little bit about his family, something that stuck in my mind. I'll probably remember just because I relate. But he said he has 10 or 11 kids, and I come from a family of 11, so that stuck out to me. But he said with his family trying to be as natural and organic as possible and do things as healthy as they can, he said of all 11 kids, only one of them has ever been to a doctor, and he said he had only gone because he broke his leg. He said none of them have been to the doctor for sicknesses or anything like that. They're just healthy kids. I couldn't believe that.
I believe it was him that was sharing his testimony that said, he said that as a kid he had some kind of disease or something or another, and basically his parents was told that there was no help for him and whatnot. And it was just really cool testimony to hear, and how it's really encouraged them to drive this company and stuff. I've heard of Assure Standard before, but we've never actually used them, but definitely gonna look into it.
Definitely gonna look into it now after hearing from him.
I know our friends over at
Ozark Family Special.
Ozark Family.
Janice and Sean, they order.
Special. Ozark Family Homestead.
Homestead.
Ozark Family Homestead.
We've got two Ozark friends and we get them mixed up. Yes, Janice orders from them quite a bit, and she's mentioned on her channel.
I saw it. I got on the website and was looking at their map of different drop locations, and she is a drop location there in southeast Missouri, I guess. So there's a few down here. I think there's one in Batesville, I believe.
It's just cool. It's not often you get to meet the CEO and founder of a company, and
he wasn't acting like the CEO or anything. He was just
down to earth.
Just a down to earth guy there. So it's really cool.
But it's cool to hear the beginnings and behinds of a company like that.
And then we ended Friday with a session from a local YouTuber here, a little south of us, VW Family Farm. They raise cattle, pigs, rabbits, garden, and they have their own little market going from their homestead now, where you can buy their products. But their session was on raising feeder pigs, just on raising pork and whatnot. And it was a really good session. Ben was not able to make it. He wasn't able to get off work, but Andrea, his wife, gave a really good PowerPoint and session there. So it was really good. I think that kind of wrapped up our Friday with that. So that was a lot of good sessions to us, and there was a bunch more sessions. I mean, that was maybe a third of them. They had 3 different auditoriums going or whatever at a time of different sessions, and they give you a list that you can go through. And this is kind of, I don't know if you can see that or not. That's kind of like a schedule they give you of each auditorium, what's going on. So
it was hard to pick on some of them. Like one good one that we went to last year, and that's why we chose not to go to it this year. But we know it was really good. We saw other people's clips from it. Was the basics of beekeeping. We heard really good reports about that one. Some friends of ours went to that one and were telling us about it later.
Which we did go to his on Saturday, which was different. It wasn't the basics of beekeeping. It was, well, we'll get there here in a minute. I want to flip over, but there was cool demonstrations going on all day. So the Old Pecan Homestead, they got a YouTube channel. He had a welding little booth set up all weekend. Anybody that wanted to try their hand at welding, he just had scrap iron there. They were welding horseshoes together, everything. It was really cool. They had another, they had a blacksmith set up there all weekend just doing demonstrations.
The kids like watching the blacksmith with his fire going and everything like that.
I don't know if Travis ever got in on winding or pumping the forge up or not, but some of them did. Yeah. So it was pretty fun to watch. And
hello, Dolores. Thanks for joining us.
And then they had the Oklahoma State University had the booth set up there with the calving simulator, a full-size cow that the kids got to pull.
Jerry and Maggie got to pull a calf.
Got to pull a calf, and it was pretty fun that day. They had a bunch of different things for kids there. They had a gentleman there that's really cool. We didn't even put it together until we got to the meeting, but the kids had spotted, we got there a day early in Pryor, Oklahoma, they'd spotted a bookstore that the kids wanted to go to, and we dropped them off there, and they bought a book on the eclipse, and with the one upcoming here in our area, found it appropriate to buy it. Well, the guy was really nice and talked to us a bunch, and didn't realize that he was there at the expo. He had a booth, and he had a little reading time each day for the kids, where he just read some stories to them.
He's got a YouTube channel, and I'll link it too. It's a Cowboy Short, and he just reads books. He's dressed up as a cowboy, and he reads his stories to the kids on his channel. It's pretty cool. He had story time with the kids each day at the homestead. He's kind of a character. The kids got a kick out of watching him with his spurs and chaps walking around. And he was really, really nice in his shop too. If you're ever in Pryor, Oklahoma, definitely check out his bookstore. He had an abundance of books. Michael kind of had to pull me out of there.
I dropped her and the oldest two kids off there. And shortly, I'd walked about a block away. We were just strolling down Pryor, looking at stuff, and got a message that she needed money. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. But no, she didn't spend too much, but he did. He had an awesome selection of books that you could easily spend quite a bit there. But other demonstrations that was going on throughout the days, they had composting basics there. They had one on pig castration going on. Ultrasounding beef cattle to improve meat quality was going on. That was kind of funny. Somebody made a comment about them having a steer out there and they were doing ultrasounds on it. Well, that don't add up. Well, it wasn't for pregnancy relations. It was more just improving the meat quality. So it was kind of cool. And then they had a little goat education center set up there. So those were things that were just ongoing throughout the entire show that you could go and watch. And
they had a kids corner with a petting zoo and horseback riding or pony rides. And they had inflatables, slides, and bounce houses for the kids. And it was pretty funny. They emphasized several times that you cannot leave your children in the kids' corner. But that was funny.
May or may not have happened, some, but
They said parents must stay with the kids in the kids' corner. It was funny. Hello, Sandra. Welcome.
But that pretty much wrapped up, I think, most of what we did on Friday. It was a long day. We got there before 8 a.m. and we left sometime after 5 p.m. So it was a full day, and both days were. But that's kind of what Friday consisted of. On Saturday, of course, the opening ceremony, they sing the national anthem, have a word of prayer for the day and everything.
Real quick, the music that was there was incredible. Right up our alley kind of music, bluegrass. I'll also link theirs here in a minute. It was Pearl Grace and Company. It was 3 daughters and their mom. It's so good. The way they harmonized together. I told Michael it's probably one of the best national anthems I've ever heard. So
but their voices just was a perfect blend, and it was not like
Lincoln Mail, I'm thinking about it.
too much show or anything. It was just a good audition, I guess, of the national anthem. Both days they did a really good job. Now, the very first session we went to on Saturday morning was, a lot of people may know him, a lot may not. I don't know. Joe Salatin with Polyface Farm. He was one of, I would say, the original ones that really pushed raising poultry on pasture and building portable chicken tractors and whatnot. He gave a really good session on designing the homestead. That was a really, really interesting one to sit through and such. So we really, really enjoyed it. And getting to meet him, another just down to earth guy that he's really, his name's huge and everything, and he took time for the kids and everything. Is really, really cool. So
he brought in a big crowd. A lot of people that came were there to see him. On his first session, we sat at the front. We got there early and got in the front. And so I didn't even realize how big the crowd was. Like Michael said, they had 3 areas for speakers and sessions. But for his, they opened it up because they had one big area split into 2. And they had to open it up for him because there were so many people. And at one point, one of the kids had to go to the bathroom. So I took him out. And I didn't realize till I took the kid out, the crowd. I mean, there was people lining the walls, standing. There was people sitting on the floors in between the aisles. There wasn't a chair open. There were so many people. I was trying to weave through the people just to get to the restroom. but they were.
Darlene.
What is it?
She asked everybody to give us thumbs up. So.
Yes, thank you. Please hit that like button.
So the next session we went to that day was Growing a Business from Home by Dusty Baker with Cross Timber Bison. He's out there in Oklahoma. He's a brother-in-law to Daniel Arms with Arms Family Homestead out there, which Daniel was an MC for the event, so he kept everything rolling and whatnot. But his brother-in-law, Dusty, gave a really good session on growing a business from home. Just talked about how he got started in the raising bison and whatnot. So it was really good a good time. Learned stuff from him. So
it was. I didn't know half that about bison. That was really interesting. He was talking about how he tans the hide and stuff. What a process that is. Man, that takes a long time. And all the different cuts of meats they use, and his desire to keep all his products as close as he can to 100% bison. He said a lot of companies will advertise one thing, then there'll be a mix of a whole bunch of stuff.
He talked about selling bison meat and such, and how a lot of them you can get by with advertising it as bison meat with 51% bison meat, and the rest can be pork or beef or whatever, and how he really is trying to keep his 100% or as close to bison. So it was really cool just listening to him and his passion he had for driving that industry and whatnot. So it was really cool session. So.
Trying to throw up some of the links of what we're talking about. I just put the singing group link there. Check them out. Theirs is just their instruments and playing music. So good.
Then our next session we went to, again, was from Craig Beam with Beam Farms. The first day we went to his quail processing. This one was the chicken processing, where he butchered, I think it was 3 chickens in there. Actually had some from the audience come up and butcher a couple of them. I did not volunteer. I probably should have.
I tried to get him to.
It was interesting. Sitting through it, Dawn got to talking to, was it Angela, and asking her if she wants to come home and butcher some of the roosters. So
I feel like I can now. I had a general knowledge on how to butcher. I don't know. My idea, I used to watch my grandparents do it, and they were pretty old school, grab the axe. And
he talked about reasonings for not just completely deheading the chicken. Just talked about how it instantly starts flopping like that, and how it don't bleed out real well, and it makes the meat a lot tougher to where you can't hardly fry it. Do it.
Is it called the rigor? There's a word for it.
Yes, there is, and I'm not.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm trying to sell it wrong, say it wrong.
But he just showed how he put them in a cone and just made one quick slit through the neck and allowed it to bleed out, and it's a lot calmer. And he said it'd make the meat a whole lot better.
I want his whole setup now. He had the cone. He had
turkey fryers set up there. He just dipped them in hot water, and then he had the little plucker, and he put it in for like 10 seconds, and it came out perfectly clean.
Again, start to finish, butchering a chicken was like that.
I think which he was demonstrating as he was doing it, so he wasn't going at his full speed. But I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 minutes of chicken. So it was really cool to watch. And
it was pretty funny listening to the crowd when he put it in the plucker, because he didn't have it in there 30 seconds?
I don't even think it's 30 seconds, but.
And he'd pull it out and it was completely defeathered, and everybody's like, "Oh, wow!"
He talked about the importance of using your water in the turkey fryer to be the perfect temperature and getting it warm enough, but not too warm, and then just it was really cool.
But now I feel pretty confident that I could. We have too many roosters, so I was thinking about putting a couple in the freezer. Now I feel a little more confident doing it after having a front row view of him processing.
The next session we went to that day was somebody new to us. Her name was Cody Hanner with the Homestead Education. She makes a lot of homeschooling material and whatnot, but her session was on teaching homesteading for self-sufficient kids. Just talked about the importance of delegating the chores around the place and teaching your kids the importance of the homesteading, knowing where your food's coming from, being the self-sufficient.
Teaching your kids a good work ethic.
She was talking about, I think, the 4-year-old will get up there and start making everybody lunch by themselves and stuff. I don't know quite that we're ready to trust Jeremiah to do that for us, but it was a very good one, and she was full of a lot of knowledge, and it was interesting to sit through.
I'm gonna link her channel also. Amy, if you're on here, you should look her up. Her curriculum was really neat. She had a booth set up and stuff. She's got a really good YouTube too, with just homeschooling and such. She kind of made her own curriculum to go along with homesteading. It was really neat.
Say Outdoors with Vance said he got really bad sick and couldn't make it this year.
That's a bummer.
So, yeah. I again, as I said earlier, I really encourage y'all, if y'all can, to make this. Sunday on the way back, we stopped at a church of some friends of ours, and we were talking to them. They're only an hour or so away. They didn't know that it existed, but they said they'll definitely be attending next year. And so, but it's really good. It's a little bit costly. All the kids are free. I think 15 and under are free. But for the adults, it's $50 for a 2-day pass per adult. So $100 is what it costs us to go there for 2 days. But the knowledge you get is really worth it a lot. The next session we went through is someone that the kids have really fallen in love with over YouTube and whatnot. It's Jack Waddell with Grow Jack Outdoors. They also have a mechanic YouTube show called Speed Bump Garage,
yep.
I believe, that him and his dad work in. But no, Grow Jack, he always gets in these competitions and grows a lot of watermelons and pumpkins. I think his one pumpkin was over 400 pounds and grew like a 200-pound watermelon. Really big. And he just kind of gave a little demonstration of how he starts those seeds and what he does throughout to try to get the big. Not real practical for the homestead. It was just more of a competition, I think. And he talked about I think it was the pumpkin. They ended up, after they showed it at the show or whatever, the fair, they took it to the Oklahoma City Zoo and gave it to the elephants and let them watch the elephants smash it all up and stuff. He said it was pretty fun, but he gave a really good one on just how to grow giant produce.
I like his channel for the kids, because it's one thing for the kids to sit and watch the YouTube channels that we do with all the adults doing stuff, but when you can turn on a kid their age, well, he's a little bit older, but out there growing gardens and doing all this, he's flipping cars. It just kind of gives them some goals, and if a kid can do it, they can do it. He's recently, I don't know what year model it is, but brought a El Camino back to life. It's pretty funny watching him. You get out in the field and do some donuts in it and stuff, but he has a whole series on that where they picked it up out of the yard and everything. It's pretty funny, but really good. Really good. So. Hi, Miss Rita. You made it this time. Glad to see you. So after Grow Jacks, let's see. Okay, we went back to I skipped one. Okay, at 2 we went to Justin Scott with Sweet Stingers Honey and Apiary. I'm sorry. And set through a session on the benefits of honey and products of the hive. It was really cool, just sitting down, listening to him about some of the history of honeybees, and then not just honey from bees. He talked about using the beeswax and the comb and everything, using them to do pollinations and whatnot. We got some friends that were there with us that's talked to him. They sat through the first day with him, and he may end up coming up, setting up some hives and stuff for them, and just using it to help them with their pollination, and then split some honey with them and stuff. So they were really excited about that. So. He talked for a long time about the medicinal purposes of honey, which I knew honey was good for you and allergies and this and that, but he talked a lot about the other parts that I didn't even know about. He said him and his family take the actual pollen and eat the pollen from the bees for their allergies, Tina, if you're still on here, I was thinking about your kids with their allergies. I wish I could have recorded and shown you some of the stuff he was talking about. It's really interesting. Again, I've always known that honey was good for you, but he talked about all the aspects of bees that are good for you.
He was talking about there's, I guess, traps you can actually buy to put on the side of the hive to collect the pollen, and he said I believe he said a teaspoon a day is what all of his family takes, and it really helps them with their allergies and whatnot.
He said he had a son with allergies, and he was on how many different medications?
3 or 4 different medications by age 3.
Yeah.
And they couldn't control it.
And he said he hated having his kid on that many medications, so he just started researching. And he said he, like me, knew about the honey being good for it, but it didn't seem to help too much. But then they started taking the actual pollen, and he's off his medication now. It's pretty interesting. Travis told me he liked his mustache. He had a mustache that curled.
Kind of like bar 7 there,
Yeah.
Cody. So then we ended the 2 days back with Joel Salatin, again from Polyface Farms. He gave a session on $12,000 per acre with meat chickens. Just talked about again his poultry raising and raising chickens in chicken tractors, and of course that number is not maybe the most realistic for everywhere. You got to have some pretty flat ground and good pasture to be able to do that, but just showing the potential that was there and whatnot. And he talked about the designing and building of the tractors and how not to make them not overbuilding them, not building them too heavy like I tend to do with things, building them lightweight. So I think he was talking about moving, I don't remember how many chickens in like 60 seconds, but he had it down to where he could move a bunch of chickens really fast on pasture with the design and everything. So overall, it was just a great 2-day event. Like I said, the ones like Joel Salatin that are really well known.
Well-known author. That's what he's mostly known for, is his books.
I don't remember how many books of his they had there, but
and they were doing a book signing. They had a station set up for him, and people were like lining the halls to get their books signed by him.
He's got several books out there on just homesteading basics and whatnot, and it's really cool. Really a well of knowledge.
He's from Virginia, so you know he's good.
Found out he was from the Shenandoah Valley, so that perked her interest up immediately. So
I got to talk to him for a minute about that.
Again, it really amazed me just how down to earth some of these folks were, because I've been around some up and coming people before and how they just think they're better than you and whatnot. But every one of these people pretty much that we got to meet were just down to earth, willing to take time to personally talk one-on-one, which is kind of hard to do a little bit, because when you got somebody of his caliber there, I guess you'd say, and you've got, I'm going to say 800 plus people in line to talk to him, it's kind of hard, but he wasn't opposed to taking a minute or two and trying to share some more knowledge with you. But
and I've already looked up several of his books on Amazon and saved them. I would like to purchase.
There were several other sessions. Just going to read some of the other sessions that was there. On Saturday, there was a cheese making basics session. There was everyday sourdough was one.
Several of these people had booths set up too. So like the sourdough lady, I went by her booth. She had everything set up.
One we'd like to have made, our friend there, Cassie Walker with Walker Farm Fam, she gave one on backyard chickens, just raising your flock. We didn't get to make her session.
We went to her session similar to that last year though, and it was really good.
Max, who got a YouTube channel, they gave a session on the 10 items to stockpile. So I'm sure that would have been a good one. Another one was a whole food approach to soil and animal health. Sorry about that. There was one on aquaponics there. I'd like to have been in on that, but again, we were at another session. Livestock Health by Dr. Patrick James. He gave one, I think, both days. Another one I'd like to have made was Meat Goats for Profit. Was another one. There was one on vermiculture. by Tammy Flynn with Keystone Worms. That would have been an interesting one to have seen. Some of the other ones on Friday that we didn't make would have been Preserving Your Food for Years, again by the Max. I think that's more on canning. Simple Growing in Trying Times with Gardening with Leon. That's another one right there that I don't think he's as big and well known, but the guy's got to be in his 80s, I believe, and just an absolute wealth of knowledge on growing and whatnot.
He has a YouTube channel. He's killing it in his 80s on YouTube.
Yeah. The one she mentioned earlier, Basics of Beekeeping, was another one. Organic Gardening was one that we weren't able to make. Homestead Texas Beekeeping LLC gave a seminar that first day, which was different from the Basics of Beekeeping. So they had multiple. Okay, I totally read that wrong. Sorry. Homestead Taxes and Bookkeeping and LLC. I'm sorry. It was not beekeeping, it's bookkeeping. That's one I would have liked to have attended, but we were at another session during that time. There was a group from Texas that did a livestock guardian dog session.
I heard lots of good reports about that one too. Several people were talking about it, the livestock guardian one. It was a lot of fun, Miss Rita. It was. The kids struggled a little bit sitting through all these classes, but there was a few that perked their interest and they liked.
They were all eyes and ears during the chicken processing and the quail processing. I thought that was pretty entertaining. Another one was just raising rabbits for meat. Another one by Dr. Patrick Jones there with the animal health was Be Nice to Your Weeds. That's one we didn't get to see. Another one was herbal medicine and tinctures.
I wanted to go to that one. I was torn between that one and another one. I'm all about home remedies and stuff, so I would have liked to go to that one, but
I think during that one was when we were over at the Azure Standard gentleman, David Stizer. We were at his during that, but that was a good one. Foraging for Wild Onions was another session. Small Ruminants, basically sheep, basic animal husbandry was another one that was given, but there were just a bunch of different sessions. It's hard to get to every one of them that you want to, but
and even in between the sessions, talking to people, you learn so much. There's so many people not there to teach, but just there that have been doing it so much longer than us and know so much more. I don't know. It's fun. It kind of feels like we're rubbing shoulders with some of the greats when we go out there. Let's see, Jeff commented. October 3rd. Okay. They had something like that similar when I was growing up too. I remember one year they had a huge pumpkin and they were doing a guess the weight and you won a prize if you guess the weight right. And my brother Darren actually guessed the weight right and he had won a prize. I remember that.
Lisa Sell from Ontario.
Hello, welcome. Someone from Canada. That's pretty cool. I love seeing all the different places people are from when they jump on here. So if you're here and you haven't commented yet, go ahead and comment and let us know where you're from. We like seeing it.
Shows we got 10 people watching and 11 thumbs up. That's pretty good. Appreciate that, everybody.
I'm going to go harass my family. None of them are around tonight.
No, that's just kind of a rundown from the 2 days that we spent up there in Pryor, Oklahoma. Just a lot of fun, and like I said, just a lot of things to obtain and learn, and hope that we can take and use on our homestead someday here in the future. So I just thought we'd bring some of it back and kind of share with y'all some other events that they did while we were there. Saturday, they had an old-fashioned Cherokee hog fry. meal lined up there that was real affordable and everything. They had scheduled a chuck wagon cooking team, excuse me, to be there, but they ended up having to cancel, so they didn't make it. But it was a lot of fun.
I felt bad. They were pretty stressed out with the food vendors.
On Friday especially.
How many canceled?
I think they had 3 food trucks cancel and that chuck wagon canceled. So
when it came to the lunch break, the lines were so long. People had to wait like an hour for their food or more.
It was kind of humorous to see how many people did what we did, and that was pack peanut butter and sandwiches, or peanut butter and bread. And come lunch break time, there was a lot of people out at their vehicles.
We just went to our vehicle and ate lunch. I had packed stuff.
At these events, you can really spend a lot of money quick.
Between the food vendors and the other vendors, you can.
And trust me, that smell going across there it drove craving on you. They had a Mexican food truck there. That one right by the building, I don't know what it was, but it smelled
good.
It smelled amazing every time we walked by it. Then you got kettle corn going.
That was the only thing we bought as far as food was kettle corn, wasn't it?
Last year we bought one, but it was a little too rich. But something unique was the kettle corn place. It's called Mom and Paul's Kettle Corn, I believe. But they do cheesecake on a stick dipped in fudge.
That was good.
It was really good last year, just extremely rich. We didn't do it this year. They had it and they sold out real quick on Friday. It became a very popular item, but who would have known cheesecake on a stick?
I don't know who was doing it, but this year there was a bunch of people walking around with these big old things of ice cream. And like toppings and stuff sticking out.
They had an ice cream truck there. They had a local butcher set up there with a cold truck if you wanted to buy any meat. They had him there. They had different processes. They just had, I think they had somewhere over 100 different vendors there that was teaching different things. They had freeze dryers vendors set up. They had water purification, chicken tractors, wool, whatever you call it, wool, knitting wool.
Yeah, they had the sheep.
Stuff with wool.
They had the sheep in the background, live sheep, as they were sitting there making stuff with wool.
They had, of course, they had the bee people there.
The bee people actually had bees there, and they had it set up where you could try to find the queen. So the kids sat there until they could find the queen bee.
It's really cool. They had an observation house set up there with a glass sides or whatever. So there's people do wood carving, different. I don't know. There was a ton there to take in. It was hard to cover all the vendors with as many sessions as they had going. Which you don't have to go to the sessions, but for us, that's kind of the reason we make the 5-hour drive over there is to try to learn. So
and gain all the knowledge we can.
We didn't get around to, I don't think, nearly all the vendors. I was watching somebody else's video today, and I was like, I didn't know that was there. I didn't know that was there. It's hard to cover all of it in 2 days, but they do a outstanding job.
Next year, we're considering, or it might end up being just Michael, but a couple months before, they look for volunteers too to help with it. And we thought about it and talked about it, but we weren't sure how we could do it with 5 kids, if we'd actually be much help or not. But next year we might, because that kind of gives you a chance too to get to know people a little better.
Several of our fellow YouTubers channels that we've got to know, they volunteer, and you get to see them. And this year I jumped in where I could, but they had, I think it was over 14 volunteers not show up that was going to be there. So everybody was stretched really, really thin as far as staff went this year. But they did an outstanding job of what they had, and everything went off really, really well. So
they have it very well organized. Like the only hiccup that I knew of was the food trucks canceling on them. And
they made it happen for Saturday. That they scrambled on Friday and got some others to show up for Saturday. I have no idea how they did that overnight, but Saturday was a lot better. So just a really cool event. So.
Lisa says, was this a city fair? No, Miss Lisa, it's a Homesteading Expo that we went to in Pryor, Oklahoma. A couple of YouTube channels put it together, and it's just all have a whole bunch of sessions learning about homesteading and about farming and all that stuff. So we just went to learn.
This is their third year doing it. I don't remember when the first one was, but the second one was in June of last year, and then this one this year was in March, and I believe they're going to start doing it toward the end of March every year is what I talked to one of them, and he said that's what they're going to target. But a lot of it came, this started with these YouTube channels, kind of doing a YouTube meetup, but after COVID, everybody saw how quickly the shelves at the grocery stores were empty, and they realized that there were so many people had a lot of interest in learning how to be self-sufficient again and whatnot. So they started putting these on about 3 years ago, and it's just amazing the distance people travel.
There's people from Florida, people from South Carolina,
people from Delaware. Literally people fly in from across the U.S. to this, and it's been really cool. Like I said, this is our second year
I'm
going.
not sure if it keeps growing like it is, what they're going to do. Right now they have it at their fairground. But like I said, for Joe Salatin's speech, it was so packed, people were having to stand to hear him. So I don't know what they're going to do if it continues to get bigger and bigger.
I don't know. I may be completely off on the number, but I would say there was 500-600 people. Maybe a lot more than that in Joel Salatin's speech or sessions that he gave. So it was a really big deal.
It was so much fun. It felt like it went by in a blur. Like I woke up this morning, I'm like, whew, felt like we just were leaving to go and we're home. It's all kind of a blur. It goes by so fast, and it's kind of fast paced, but it's a highlight of the year for us now. We love it.
Last year they had their keynote speaker, I guess, was Okie with Doug and Stacy, which is a really well known couple, but they were there last year.
I'm really excited to see every year who they're going to get. I told Michael I was making my own list. I wonder if they're going to have this person. I'm hoping they have Justin Rhodes come one year. And there's another one, Jill Wagner, I believe is her name, on YouTube. She does a lot more kind of in the kitchen type homesteading stuff, but I really like following her channel. I was like, it'd be really cool if they got some of these people. I told Michael, I was like, maybe I should shoot an email with suggestions.
Miss Rita, that's kind of where we're at right now. If we had to grow our own food, I believe I could provide us enough food with my hunting abilities for a while, but
we'd have to do a carnivore diet.
But eventually we would need some greens and other things. So I don't know about that. As a kid, I used to love to toy around with gardening. I would grow some tomatoes and cucumbers and such, but honestly, I've not done anything in several years as far as the garden goes.
I dream of having a big garden. It's going to be top on the list when we get our land. Oops, what did I do? You see that one? It says, I'm new to your channel, and you just said you have 5 children. What do they range in age from?
Right now, we have 10-year-old, 8-year-old, 6-year-old, 4-year-old, and 2-year-old.
I tell people, their ages make me really happy right now. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Until August, it's really easy to remember their ages. But then once August hits, 3 of them have a birthday in the first 2 weeks of August. So it gets
confusing.
All
I have to think
confusing
about it.
after
Right
that.
now, I don't even have to think about it. I can just rattle off their ages. In August, I'm going to have to be like, Tribal Woman says they have a huge garden. I'm jealous. I love a big garden. We had a big garden growing up. We had one, and my grandma had one in the same space. And I loved it. Our favorite thing in the world was right before they planted, when they go till. We had a big tiller. And we'd love to take off our shoes and run behind the tiller and that freshly tilled up dirt. Just fun. Nothing like that fresh tilled up dirt feeling. Angela wanted to come say hey. You're too big, sis.
This is our oldest. This is our 10-year-old, Angela. So
She thinks she's our moderator.
she wants to be our YouTube moderator so bad, but she's been sitting in the background listening to us. So I decided to let her come over here and say hey.
The rest of them want to just play, so they're back there playing. Well, you two are busy parents. Yes, most of the time. We homeschool, and some of them go to work with Michael sometimes.
Miss Dolores says cutie. Rita says hi, Angela.
Hello.
What does bison taste like? I just recently heard it. I've never had bison. You've had, haven't you?
I've had the I've had the beef sticks. I don't know that I've ever had like a bison steak or anything. I don't think I ever have myself.
The man who was speaking has some really interesting facts about it. It's the leanest meat. He said it's more lean than chicken. He said it's really, really healthy if you've got some health issues and can't have a lot of fatty food. He talking about how it helps cholesterol and all that. It was pretty interesting. So it's an extremely lean meat.
It was kind of funny the day that Friday that we were there and watching this. I noticed that our local sale barn had I believe it was 8 bison consigned to go to the sale barn here locally, and I was like, huh, too bad we don't have a place to go with them. I'd like to try to bid on one, see about it, but they're a whole different critter as far as
He's got a YouTube.
keeping them in a pen.
I can link his YouTube channel. He's in Oklahoma also.
It's called Cross Timber Bison. She's gonna link it here in a minute, but it's really good. It's really good to hear their story on how he fell in love with bison and whatnot, and really has set out to try to preserve them, as well as he talked about listening to somebody whenever he was first getting into them. He said the way to preserve them is actually to eat them, and by meaning that is getting into eating bison, getting more people driven toward that meat would help the overall preservation of the bison and whatnot. So it's really cool just listening to him and his passion he has for them. So
Miss Lisa and Tribal Woman, she gets that a lot, that she looks like her mama. She's one of the few. It's funny, I have two of my kids look more like me, and then the other 3 look like Michael.
Scott family says it's good, but a little dry. Yes, that's something that even I was talking to some people about venison. Always, it's good to have some extra beef fat laying around or whatever that you can throw in and add with it. I'm sure would really help a lot with that bison meat to.
I'm sorry, thank you.
Thank you, Miss Arlene.
All caught up in the chat. That's good.
Did you have fun? What was your favorite part?
I would say my favorite part was the butchering. It's actually more interesting than I thought.
Butchering which? The quail or the chickens or both?
Both.
You gonna go help me butcher some chickens now? Got some flies issues, sorry. Is that your favorite part? It was pretty interesting for the kids. I don't know that they've ever seen a butchering process. They've helped Michael process deer before. But
Why don't you go get Travis and we're gonna ask him his favorite part and just line them up in the hallway one at a time and we'll bring them over here. We're gonna bring each kid in here and ask them what they took from the 2 days. So.
I'm filming vertical this time, so I don't think we can get all the kids in here at once, so we'll do them one by one. It is kind of interesting to listen to them talk about it and their favorite parts from their point of view.
Bring Travis.
This is our second oldest, Travis. For if you're new here and don't know. Oh.
You're too big. So Travis, we've been talking to him about the 2 days in the prior in the expo, and they want to know what was your favorite part. What did you take from it? What was interesting to you?
Travis is the other one that looks like my side of the family. He looks like my brothers.
Probably the chicken butchering.
That chicken butchering. That's the same thing Angela said. So the kids really were into the processing. Really thought it was interesting. So.
Miss Rita said, "Hi, handsome Travis." Don't let it go to your head.
Say hello, Miss Rita.
Hello, Miss Rita.
Miss Arlene said, "Handsome young man." Oh, we got to get him out of here. Y'all are gonna give him a big head now.
This is Dad's right hand man right here. He's a good help around the house and in the business too. So, all right, bring Magnolia here.
Bye.
He said bye.
is our middle child. This is Magnolia. She's our 6-year-old.
She fits in here a little better.
Magnolia, we've been talking to them about the expo and everything that we watched. What would you tell them? What was your favorite part of the expo?
Maybe we should have asked her beforehand. Let her be thinking about it.
You got to watch lots of things. They had a petting zoo. They had bounce houses. They had chicken processing, quail processing. You want to tell me anything you learned about pulling a calf out? You got to do that.
Do you think you can go to Miss Gabby's and help pull a calf right now?
Was that interesting, sticking your hands up there and grabbing hold of it and helping pull it out?
The calf was kind of wet.
It was. It's called a simulator for a reason, and they had it a little lubed up.
My favorite part was the bouncy houses.
The bouncy houses. Maggie liked the bouncy houses.
Magnolia liked the bouncy houses, so.
They would have stayed on that all day if we let them. Miss Rita said, "Hi, sweetie Magnolia." Miss Arlene said, "Aw, pretty name for a pretty little girl." Miss Dolores said, "Beautiful smile." What do you say?
Thank you.
Tell everybody bye, and we're going to bring Jeremiah over here.
Bye.
Come by, right
We
there.
tease Maggie
Bye.
about her smile. She's our only kid with dimples. Everybody's always trying to get a giggle out of Maggie.
This is Jeremiah. This is our middle son. Jerry?
Sorry.
So, we just spent a couple days in Oklahoma there. What was your favorite part?
This was fun. Bouncy house.
Your favorite part was bouncy houses also. Imagine that. Did you get to see them butcher the chicken
Yes, sir.
and the quail?
Yes, sir.
Was that fun too?
Yes, sir.
Did you see them goats?
I like Okie Homestead.
He likes Okie Homestead. He liked everything about it.
What did that donkey keep telling you?
Mm-hmm.
That donkey kept talking to you. What did he keep saying?
I don't know.
The donkey kept braying at him. I told him, he's saying, "Come here, Jeremiah. Come here, Jeremiah."
Jeremiah, did you get to help pull a calf?
Yes, sir.
You and Magnolia together, y'all pulled a calf?
Yes, sir.
Was that fun?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Tell everybody bye.
Bye.
Miss Arlene said, "Oh, another handsome young man." Miss Rita said, "Another handsome guy." They think you're handsome, Jerry.
Oh, this is William. This is the baby of the family.
You say hi?
He's our 2-year-old. Can you say hi?
He's watching himself down here.
Well, did you like the Okie Homestead Expo?
Yes, sir.
Did you get to see the goats,
Yes, sir.
the sheep,
Yes, sir.
donkeys?
Yes, sir.
What did that pig say? What did the pig say?
Did you say chickens?
Yes, sir.
Huh. You not gonna talk? You gonna act shy?
What did that piggy say? Tell mommy what the piggy says.
What the pig say? It say oink oink?
At the petting zoo, he kept telling me what all the animals said.
Little camera shy right now.
He pointed at, was it the alpacas? And he said, "Mom, what does that say?" And I'm like, I don't know about that one.
What was your favorite part of the trip? Was it Sonic?
Yes, sir.
This guy right here likes his Sonic foods and drinks, and so every time we would start to go to eat, he'd say Sonic, Sonic. So
They say you're cute and handsome. They like him.
can you tell everybody bye?
Yes, sir.
Tell them bye. Look up there and say bye.
Bye.
Say thank you.
Hello.
All right, go back to your room, okay?
Y'all can go back to playing.
We had a blast. I will tell myself anytime we get out of town and we happen to pass a certain ice cream store, we have to make a stop. I've been trying to do a little better with my health here recently, but we couldn't pass up a Brahms, so we had to stop at a Brahms on the way out.
Miss Dolores said, your children are delightful. Thank you, Miss Dolores. They're a hoot sometimes.
We're definitely blessed with some good ones. So
Miss Arlene said, you have a beautiful family. Thank you, Miss Arlene. I think they're the best, but I'm kind of biased.
they can be pretty ornery.
It was good going to that session on having the kids on a homestead. It was encouraging to me. I need to let them do more. I can be a little bit of a control freak when it comes to stuff around the house, and it was encouraging listening to her and all what all her kids do and what kids are actually capable of if you let them, and it encouraged me to let them help more.
It was a really good session because I can tend to be that way myself too, just controlling and whatnot. And they're just talking about just giving the kids the chores, not just giving them the chores, but teaching them the benefits of what they're doing and how it's helping the overall process, and letting them see their rewards, the fruits of their labors, I guess you'd say. So
The confidence it builds in them. Again, it was encouraging to listen to all her kids did or do.
Miss Rita, I love me some ice cream. So
thank y'all for listening to us rant about it.
yeah.
We had fun. And again, I'm a little behind. I saw all these other YouTubers are already putting their videos out from the Homesteading Expo. I'm like, whew, these people are good. I've just been catching up today. I was trying to catch up on laundry. Angela had vocal lessons today. I had to go get groceries because we were out of groceries when I got home. So I'm going to work on that video. We took quite a bit of, I'm drawing a blank on the word I'm trying to use. We took clips throughout the whole trip. Footage, thank you. I took quite a bit of footage. And I'm just going to put them together and make a video so y'all can experience a little bit about what we saw. But
I think next year I definitely want to have a different camera system set up so we can actually video more in length of these. I mean, we didn't even take a tripod or anything with us this time, and so we were just sitting there holding our phones. And you can hold your phones for a little bit, but when you're in hour-long sessions or whatever, it gets kind of tiresome.
that and the memory will get real full real fast on your cameras, and it's hard to upload or do anything. What I say? Cameras. Phones. So having something like a GoPro would be nice. The kids are still pretty young, but they'll be a huge help around the farm as they get older. Very true.
They already do have quite a bit of the chores, whether it's just the trash changing, the loading the dishwasher, they take care of the chickens and the dogs, the egg collecting.
Well, something she pointed out, which is true, she said in the beginning it'll be harder. It's harder to have them help. It's harder to have them right there with you. But that's only for a short time, and then it gets so much better as they get more independent and do it right. She said her son making their lunches, she said the first few times there was peanut butter and jelly all over the counter, and she'd have to go clean up after him. And she said that only lasted so long, and now she's got someone to make lunch every day, and the blessing that is. And I was like, that's true. It's harder at first, but the benefits are worth it.
It's one thing we're trying to do with the kids right now, letting them sell a few farm fresh eggs and giving the money straight to them so they can kind of see some rewards for their labors and stuff, so they don't get burnt out on it. So,
do you want to talk about those? The shout outs? And I can link again. Just Scott's Mahogans. And I think that was all that's on here. Yeah.
I definitely get by there and like these other channels. She's fixing to put on, I believe, the Ozark Mountain Special and the Scott Family Farm and Retreat. They're two local channels that we actually go to church with and whatnot. We'd really love to see their channels grow. They got some awesome content over there, different varieties of stuff. So like y'all to check them out, give them a shout out. I think they've both been in the chat at different times tonight. So would really love to see their channels grow. If you're not, go over there, like, subscribe.
If you like our content, which we're nothing. But if you like that type of stuff, the family farm, you definitely like these too.
I think their channels are a little more driven towards specific things, more so even than ours. Ours is just kind of a random rambling. But they have some really cool content over there. I think you really enjoy their families. Pretty similar sized families. So go over there and give them a shout. Let them know that we sent you over there, and we'd love to see their channels grow. So.
Oh, thank you, Miss Rita. You're so sweet, always commenting on every one of our videos. I've gotten to where I look for them now. I was like, oh, there's Miss Rita.
If Miss Rita don't comment, we know something's up. Where'd I go? No.
We love having a YouTube community. We joke sometimes about all the people we know in our life that are doing YouTube. There's even a couple more in our church that do it, and it's fun. We get together and chat and ideas and bounce stuff off each other and encourage each other. It's fun. It's a fun little community. Encourage each other along. We get lots of ideas from each other. Encouragement, tips and tricks that we learn along the way. Oh yeah, and the Ozark Family Homestead. I need to link them. Ozark Family Homestead have helped us out so much.
They really helped our channel grow a lot, and I know several people. I believe Miss Rita's one. Several people have came over from the Ozark Family Homestead. Again, really sweet people that
we know in real life.
Yeah, not too far away from us. So
we need to get together with them. It's been a little while since we've seen them.
I told Brother Sean over there. I made a video on making a burn barrel for garbage here, and he said he was kind of harassing me a little bit, saying how precisely I drilled my holes and everything, actually measured and stuff. He said, normally when I make one, he said, I get out and I just shoot holes in the barrel. And I told him we got to get together and make a couple burn barrels. So I enjoy anytime we can get at a range and do a little shooting. So
that's how Arlene found us, was from Sean and Janice.
Awesome. Yeah. Very sweet people.
They're the best. I think they go live on Tuesday even, so they'll be live tomorrow, I believe. We always try to jump on theirs and chit chat with everybody. Theirs are getting harder and harder to keep up with though. The bigger they get, their chat just rolls so fast.
Yeah, their chat's like watching a wheel roll by. Just right on by.
It's even getting to where it's hard for us to chat with them because half the time they don't see what we say. Tired?
Just a little bit. Sorry.
I'm feeling pretty good. I had a cup of coffee a little while ago, so I'm okay. And I slept in this morning. Michael was sweet and kept the kids out of their room so I could sleep in this morning.
I was trying to, but the kids finally busted in her room and got her woke up. So
he didn't have such a restful night. I told him I closed my eyes last night and I didn't know nothing existed till this morning, but he had a interrupted night.
I'm a volunteer firefighter. I got paged out about 2:30 this morning, and we got back about somewhere around 4 o'clock or so, maybe this morning, and it was too late for going back to bed, but too early for me to be up too. So I just laid down in here on the couch for a little bit, and as the kids woke up, I tried to keep them from interrupting her because I knew she needed her rest. So it's been a long few days. When you got 5 kids and you're going to an event like this, it's just
that, and sleeping in the hotel room with your kids is always interesting. Because here at the home, they're all in their rooms. They got a boys' room and a girls' room. We all sleep with fans. So we don't ever really hear them unless they come and get us or they're real loud. But in the hotel, anybody coughs. We've got a couple that talk in their sleep.
You hear every little nightmare or sleep talking.
A couple of them bicker in their sleep. And they'll go back and forth in their sleep fighting. And two of them were doing that one night.
And then it don't help, was it for Friday night that somebody upstairs above us dropped something really, really loud in the middle of the night.
It scared me so bad. I thought one of the kids had fallen out of our bed beside us. So I jumped up to see which kid had fallen out of the bed. And Michael said that wasn't us. I was up there.
I listened to them all night. I was sitting there, and I carry a fan with us, but still over the fan, I could hear them in the room above us all night long, going back and forth. And finally, I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody fell out of bed or if they dropped something heavy. It was a very loud crash on the ceiling of the room we were in, so it made for a bit of a sleepless night.
So Michael's gone several nights now with his sleep interrupted. He didn't sleep tonight. Miss Arlene said, "You poor guy, you have a right to yawn." And Miss Sandra said, "I love your channel. I love learning new things and sharing tips I've learned about new things." Well, thank you, Miss Sandra. We have a few things we're thinking about doing. Some more DIYs here coming up.
Hickory Homestead.
Howdy. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Michael's considering doing something like maybe some small chicken coops to sell or something. We've talked about some other things we've chatted about.
This time of year, I get real restless not having our own homestead to do projects on and stuff. So I've been kicking around the idea of maybe making some different projects that could be used on a homestead, maybe just selling them or something. I'm not real sure what I'm going to do, but just been kind of restless recently, and then going to an event like this, it don't help.
A couple of years ago, which I say a couple of years, might be longer than that, he did some raised garden beds out of, what are they called?
Oh, just 55-gallon plastic barrels.
Yeah, and just sold those, and those did really well. Because it was about, how high was it?
I would build them about 32 inches high, I believe it was, so about waist high for most people. And
so there were a lot of people like with disabilities or back problems or whatever who really liked them because they didn't have to bend over at all. They could just stand and do their garden. His mom took one and she still uses it. So that did really good. We might do something else. I don't know. When you can't make your own homestead, might as well fiddle around and sell the stuff, you know.
I like fiddling around with it now when it's not something permanently on mine, so I get to see what I like and what I don't like, and so maybe when we get on ours, I'll have a better idea. So
yeah, we've been toying around with a few ideas and then videoing it and doing a few how-to videos. As soon as this weather gets nice like it is, it gets us all stirred up. You agree,
we'll be making one sometime. We just got to get together with them, and
we need to. I think we've waited too long though, because now they're fixing to get really busy with all their homesteading stuff. Janice, I know, is putting in her garden, so we probably waited too long. They're probably too busy now. That sounds like a great idea. We got a few ideas we're tossing around. We were talking about some things like bookshelves, but with us wanting to maybe move, I'm not really wanting to put much more into our house. We're trying to keep the house as simple as possible right now. Maybe even get rid of a few things.
Realtors have really suggested to us, once we decide to start showing the house, to have it as empty as possible, to make it feel bigger. So we're really trying not to add a whole lot of things here.
So we're thinking outside now.
You never know.
What can we do outside?
But you don't want to junk up the outside either, so.
But we're both restless and want to do something, so like tomorrow, I don't think he's got much planned, so I'm already looking at my honey-do list. Today he didn't work today, so I was trying to think of stuff he could do, but then it rained all day, so that limits. So ended up just kind of a running errands and resting day.
Went and did a job.
He did work some, so. But if y'all have any ideas or something you would like to see, you should let us know. Maybe something on your DIY list that we can fiddle around with and see. But we got a few things hopefully coming out of the pipeline we've worked on. Like I said, the next video we put out is probably going to be the Expo video. But after that, we'll see. I don't know. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think we covered it fairly well. Like I said, once again, I just encourage, if y'all have the opportunity to maybe set a few days aside around the end of March next year and look at going. I think you'll all really enjoy it. Like I said, there's stuff there for everybody. You don't even necessarily have to be a homesteader. You can find stuff to do. I think like the freeze dryer deal is really interesting, and you don't necessarily have to be homesteading to do that. Something that we toyed around with the idea. I don't know
It's
that
on the
we'll
list.
ever have the extra cash to buy a freeze dryer, but we would love to learn more about and stuff. So it's hard for me to pass up freeze dried stuff. So we tried some freeze dried strawberries. This one place even had freeze dried banana pudding bites.
Those were interesting.
It was interesting. That it's like they took a slice of banana and put it on a vanilla wafer, and then put a little pudding on top of it and freeze dried it like that. It was different.
It got stuck on my teeth a little bit.
The wafers tasted pretty normal, but the rest of it was a little different. But had to try it. I mean, I like banana pudding, and I was like, well, what's better than freeze dried banana pudding? So I don't know. I don't know that we'll do that, but the strawberries, the freeze dried strawberries we got, I don't know that was a good batch of strawberries.
Yeah, I think the strawberries were originally kind of sour because the candy came out really sour.
Yeah, it was extremely sour. So we'll see. But that's something that we would both love to toy with a little bit. But like I said, that's an investment when you look at buying a freeze dry machine, pump, and everything. So
We'll see.
we'll see. So
Miss Arlene, Tribal Woman, Dolores, Miss Lisa, thank y'all for chatting with us and keeping the chat going. Keep the conversation going. We appreciate it. You have a blessed Easter too, Miss Dolores. The kids are really looking forward to it. They're going to be singing a special in church Sunday that they've been practicing. Well, not just our kids, but a group of kids. And so they're really excited about that. And I help in a Sunday school. I got to get a craft together for Easter. We're working on that. Let's see. Good night, Miss Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us and commenting. We appreciate you being on here. You have a good night. Yeah, the kids are looking forward to Easter a lot. So, alrighty.
Can I come say
Well,
hi?
I appreciate y'all joining us tonight and
Angie, what did you say?
putting up with our
Bye.
randomness. Just wanted to kind of share some of our experience there and encourage y'all to come. So I think you'll really enjoy it. So
Be on the lookout for that video when I post it. But like I said, a bunch of the other YouTubers have already posted. So if you want to go see theirs,
a lot of them are hashtagging Okie Expo 24.
yeah. I put the hashtag on this video. So if you see the Okie Expo 24, if you click on that hashtag, you should be able to go see the other people's videos. We've been enjoying watching them. We've been watching them, and the kids will spot us in the background or in the crowd, and they're like, oh, there we are. Oh, there we are. But if you are impatient waiting for our video, you can go watch theirs. Anything else?
I don't think so. Y'all have a blessed evening, and
Yeah.
again, appreciate y'all joining us.
We'll try to do, we're going to do the every 2 weeks. So we've tossed around the idea of every other Monday going live, and we've done that so far. So every 2 weeks doing a live. I love.
Next Monday will be, or that next Monday that would be the day of the eclipse. So I
Oh,
doubt we will go
That's
live.
true.
We might. There might be something cool to go live for. I don't know, but
We'll see. We'll play that one by
the
ear.
next Monday would be April 8th, and that's supposed to be a really, really busy time for us. And I won't be able to be in it probably for sure because they're kind of calling all hands on deck for our fire department that day. So, but we'll see. We'll join back sometime. And
If not, maybe the next Monday. Monday seems to work out really well for us and for others. So we'll probably stick with Mondays, but we'll see when the next one will be. But anyway, thank you again. Y'all have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you again soon.
see you.
Good night.
Night, everybody.